Welcome to the family with
Mike Gelfand.
And Andy Brand Bernard.
we got it's like the senior squad. This is the A squad, isn't it?
Yep.
Yes, yes. That sounded very convincing. I will tell you that, very, very convincing. No question about it. So, I was talking about this a little earlier in the morning before even the morning show started. And I was watching television, and what I need now is about 15 seconds on CNN and 15 seconds on Fox.
Mhm.
They rip the piss out of each other, and then I just move on because
Yeah.
I still do think, and I'm not kidding, that there's a guy from CNN and a guy from Fox. They get together every morning at about 4 in the morning and go, okay, I'll put you in a headlock, and then you poke me in the eye, and then it's like all-star wrestling, Mike.
I don't know about Fox, but I know with CNN, there's a lot of guys on CNN now, men and women, who were on Fox before.
Oh, is
So
that
these
right?
people are just basically actors.
Yes, they are. That's exactly right. Very good point. It's literally all-star wrestling, and it's all about making money. I'm trying to drive viewers. I'm trying to attract viewers to you. I don't know if that's working all that well. I have heard that national news doesn't do anywhere near as well as it used to.
That's definitely true.
Yeah, that's what.
Well, especially the broadcast stations.
Yes.
They've lost so many people over the years, and because a lot of people don't want like a real straight shooting news show. They want it to be, well, they just want people to reinforce their beliefs, and of course it's a complete cycle because it's a one surges. One empowers the other, and the other one empowers the other, and pretty soon you don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, no question.
I was watching a little bit. I watched just a little bit of Hannity last night. So he's interviewing who's the guy who used to be he was the White House physician for both, I think, Obama and Trump, and he's now a congressman in Texas. He's the guy who used to pass out pharmaceutical products on the Air Force One. You remember that, right?
Yes.
You go down the aisle like a stewardess and say, "Oh, I got some pretty good Valium today. I got some Halcyon if you really need it. You want a little Adderall? I got Adderall, sure, yeah." And so he's talking. Hannity says to him, "It's one thing to have a loaded question, but Hannity says to him, you're a medical doctor, and so what is your opinion?" About what's going on with Joe Biden. Obviously, even before he became president, he was demented and hardly able to put one foot in front of the other. But do you think it's much worse now?
How could it get worse than that?
Well, it can, according to the physician. Yes, much worse.
Yeah, much worse. There's no question about it. Yeah, I got to be honest with you. I can't name a national news anchor that I even like. On any side, I just don't care for them. They've all got their money to be made, and I don't dislike them, but I don't like them. There are some I dislike. Some of them are just disgusting. They really are. But
you're right. Usually when I'm doing my my thing on my recumbent exercise bike.
Oh, there you go.
I like to do it around 5:30 or so. So I watch the national news. I go from one to the other. But I suppose the one I wind up liking the best is ABC with Muir.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
I like the way he sells it.
Yep.
It's a really slick show. What I would like better is if they didn't have an intro that lasted 3 minutes.
They do.
I'd like them to get just right to the stories.
It is true. Now, how about this story? We'll lead with this story. This is the Wall Street Journal. Their top story. Hamas is losing every battle in Gaza. It still thinks it could win the war. I'm looking at the picture. There is nothing left of this city. Nothing. It's unbelievable.
The bastards who let us into that thing on every side.
Yep.
It's just if you believe that nothing good can ever happen, just keep reading about what's going on there.
Mike, where did this? Because like where I grew up, my life, and all the rest of it, I've known a lot of Jews in my life, but I've never met a Palestinian, so I don't know anything about Palestinians at all.
Yeah.
I just don't really. What happened to our college system that they're turning on Jews the way they are? What is that?
Well, obviously it's a small subset of people. It's not, most college students, and this goes back certainly many years to when I was in college. We had a lot of activists then, and I'm very
Hmm.
grateful for them because they did a lot of good. But most students, they just want to go to their class, and they want to maybe
Right.
sometimes party a little bit, obviously. But their two concerns are generally academics and fornication, and that's the way it should be.
Well, see, you're absolutely right. I was shocked because I had never seen it before. Andy was staying at a place in West Palm Beach a while back, and I walked down the street past his old building, and there was a Palestinian demonstration going on right in the middle of West Palm Beach, which I never thought I'd see happen.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd see it.
No.
Because I will tell you something. You can find a Jew in Palm Beach.
Yeah, I think probably if you fired a matzo ball down Main Street, you'd probably hit a Jew or two.
Okay, so what I'm leading to in all of this is whether it's Palestinian or Jews, whatever, how is it because you are a Jew or a Palestinian, you're exactly like all of the rest of them? You're not any different than I. Because you're a Jew doesn't mean you're like all other Jews, or a
Mhm.
Palestinian, you're like all other Palestinians. What is that?
Well, and in Israel itself, there it's not that much different from here. There are a
Right,
lot of people.
right.
There are Zionists there, just like there are Zionist Jews here, and there are a lot of people who are basically just secular humanists.
Yep. So the college system in and of itself, and I'll get off the subject because it's just too depressing. But I just don't understand these colleges turn on Jews the way they are. I don't get it, Mike.
I do think it's not. I mean, look, there's always going to be a few people in the faculty who are way out there. There are
Yeah, true.
students who are way out there, but it's the same old story. It's a small number of people who make the most noise.
You're absolutely right about it. So I'm glad to hear you say that because you don't think it's as widespread as it looks on television?
No, not at all. But that's what you
Good.
see
It is what you see. It looks like it's everywhere.
because it's news.
Yeah, because it's news. But
The kids who are going to class and as I say, they're just doing what college students do. They don't get a lot of airtime at night.
oh,
Well,
and you
I
just
think
went on, you dropped it off again. And Andy, where'd Andy go? I'm here by myself now. What the hell happened? Yeah, do you know where Andy is?
I think he just left for a minute, I'm guessing. But
Oh, well, there he is. Andy, were you working on something?
Yep, that wasn't had nothing to do with Gelfand. That was a coincidence.
Well, he dropped off again. Can we get him back up?
Yep.
I think I just touched something.
Way to go, Mike.
Yeah, I know.
Typical.
I
Yeah,
mean,
typical Gelfand has to ruin everything he touches.
it
Typical.
wasn't a jolt.
Well, that's good. Well, you didn't get electrocuted. I'm glad to hear that. That's good news. I think it's very, very good news. Yeah, we're gonna. When Andy gets back, I'll talk to him about this. Maybe we should get one of the chief engineers to come in and kind of reset everything and redo it. And if anything needs to be improved, we'll improve it because it gets a lot of action. There's no question with the morning show and the family show and all the rest of it. Gets a lot of different people coming and going and all the rest of it. But I want to make sure that it all works. But Andy knows more about that stuff than anybody else I know. So he'll get it all teamed up or teed up, excuse me, and all ready to go. But I do like the fact that Mike, you do feel the same way that I do, that they're overplaying this hatred of the Jews' hand in America. Why are they doing that?
Well, it's a lot. I mean, it's been so politicized, because in this particular case, the Republicans jumped on all that stuff as proof that higher education is a failure,
Yeah.
and I mean, it's
Oh, it
everything
is.
has to be politicized and used as ammunition against the other side.
No question. Now, I will tell you, you and I have probably, maybe you and I have talked about it because I've known you for 40 years. But I walked into college, lasted one day, and left because the political stuff that was going on, the ill will and all the, I wanted nothing to do with
Yeah,
it.
but it was also the failure to find a good parking spot, right?
Well, that might have been part of it,
That
Mike,
is
but
a
I
big
just,
problem. Imagine what it's like now.
oh God, I can't even imagine.
I
So
used to
anyway,
go. I used to park at the parking ramp at the Kaufman Union. It was a
mm-hmm,
sweet place, but it cost a lot of money.
mm-hmm.
However, I got there at noon and I left at like 2 a.m. So it was free for me.
No, I wasn't going to expose this. I wasn't going to talk about it openly, but I've decided to change my mind. Are you, Mike Gelfand, going to take the job you've been offered as the new Speaker of the Senate for the GOP? You're going to take McConnell's place. That's what I've heard.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think I could ever be that big an asshole. So
You mean like
probably
any of
not.
them?
Imagine the damage this man has done to democracy.
Oh God,
I
all of
mean,
them, Mike. They're
just
all disgusting.
well, I mean, he's the guy. He's the guy who's probably more responsible than anyone, almost anyway, for Roe versus Wade being deleted
Hmm.
from the universe. He's the guy who, yeah, and that actually has hurt his party quite a bit. And I just mentioned that because aside from all the other debate about it, um, he's not supposed to do something that causes damage to the party. He's the guy
Hmm.
who's supposed to keep the party glorified. And so we'll be talking about the damage he did. They'll be talking about it 100 years from now.
Well, and I got to be honest with you, the lowest point in my life is when I turned on the television and McConnell was talking to Chuck Schumer.
Mhm.
Oh my God, he's another one. That Schumer. Oh, what a scam artist that guy is.
Well, these guys, their responsibility is to empower their own party.
Yes, that's true.
But who out there in Washington wants to legislate?
No one.
No.
No, that's absolutely true. Are we ever going to get back to an even keel, do you think, ever? Or have we ever been at even keel?
Well, maybe a little closer to being an even keel. I mean, there was a time when you and I were probably just teenagers. Maybe there was a time when the Republicans and the Democrats they could yell at each other during the day, but at night
Mm-hmm.
they were sharing a few martinis
Yeah,
and
it's true.
so that helped. That helped them to be able to compromise. But there can't be any compromise now when they all hate each other and refuse to even look at each other.
And I don't understand, why would you bother to hate someone? You do your job as best you can. If you're not in the majority, it's not going to work, but you did the best you could.
Yeah. Well, the system is not right now. It does not accommodate compromise.
No, it does not. You're absolutely right. So what else is going on in the news? I just want to check with you on that. Because you and McConnell are going to dinner tonight, aren't you?
Well, that's correct. Well, I think I will. Yes, yes. I got time.
That's a pretty good impression, actually. You should put some glasses on when you do it, though.
I know. It's been better. Sometimes if I work on it, it's much better. But Mitch is a guy who probably is not one of the more difficult people to.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think it's he's just sitting out there. He's basically ripe fruit.
I want you to do me a favor. The next time you do your Mitch McConnell impression, I want you to freeze up like he did a couple of